Our very first story. Take a trip back in time.
The deck and the truck ate the tape. If we want it, we have to go back and shoot it again.
And that was after you got stuck in the mud.
Yeah.
I mean, this was all before noon.
Yeah, and we went to, didn't we end up in Mason County?
We did.
So first question, this is for anybody. What's it like working with the same guy for 15 years?
Other people will come down and say, you've worked with him for how long? In the same truck? And we have never hit each other. We have, I don't think, said anything bad, at least to each other's faces. I don't know what our wives would say, maybe, but it's pretty impressive that when you work in a high-stress situation and it's just me and him on a drive to Nia Bay or a flight to China, that we're still ticking after all these years.
There's so much that we do that we don't have to ask each other over and over, what are we going to do? We just kind of know what the other person's thinking, and off we go. And that's a huge advantage to have worked with somebody so long that flow is there. And every day is a deadline, and hurrying to get things done and not having to worry about those sort of things is a huge help.
Yeah, I never have to worry about Tom missing a shot or not having the mic in the right position wherever we are, because he's really meticulous about that, which is great because I'm not a real detail guy. So we're sort of, I like to think of us as kind of an odd couple in some ways, where he is looking at the details, I'm looking more down the line.
Can you recall your first meeting?
Yeah, our first day was a huge storm, 2007, that closed I-5 down in Lewis County, just absolutely dumping rain. And Drew doesn't have a laptop. We jump in the truck and it's like, all right, here we go. Breaking news, crazy weather.
It was my first day and I was all dressed up in my nicest suit, and I was gonna go up to Seattle and get my new BlackBerry and get my laptop, and the boss said, never mind, go to 101 where there's floods.
So often as the news business goes, things, when you're covering crazy stuff, is not going right. Super wet. We had tape decks in the truck that are, not happy with all the moisture, and the deck and the truck ate the tape. So we had to go back and shoot stuff. It's stuff that you're shooting, you're like, oh my gosh, this is incredible, and then, well, that's gone. If we want it, we have to go back and shoot it again.
And that was after you got stuck in the mud.
Yeah.
I mean, this was all before noon. Our very first shoot,
yeah.
He gets the live truck stuck because it was a flooded area. And
yeah, so we start grabbing rocks and sticks to throw under the back right wheel of the live truck, and shortly thereafter we're off and running, and from, probably covering 3 different counties, on the first day, and trying to reassure Drew that it's not always like this around here.
So yeah, we drive far distances, but he and I have been around the world together. We got to go to New York to see the Seahawks in the Super Bowl.
I'm Drew Mickelson in Times Square, which for the next few days is going to be known as Super Bowl Boulevard. Look at this.
Which was still my favorite all-time assignment in 30 years. But the close number 2 is getting to go to China. Tom and I went with a group of students from Lincoln High School in Tacoma. A lot of these kids hadn't been out of Tacoma before, let alone on an airplane. And they were flown to China. I carried his tripod to the top of the darn Great Wall. But we got an amazing story out of that, an Emmy-nominated story where we followed one of the students all the way up the wall.
We're going higher and higher towards the wall. It's just beautiful.
It's one of the reasons Antonio Madrigal wanted to come to China.
Oh, dang. To actually get to see it, it's pretty incredible.
We've enjoyed some amazing experiences, and we've covered a lot of tragedies as well, there's no doubt about it, and some have hit us harder than others. But there have been days where we'll sit in the car together, we'll shoot a story together, and we're so busy, we're not really talking, but we don't have to. I know what I can do to make his job easier. He knows all the time what to do to make my job easier.
I mean, I know when I come to work, it's going to be a good, positive attitude. I'm going to feel good about what I've done because Drew's, set that up. If something comes up, we drop that and we move on, and that's going to be okay because that's the way the business goes. But we do our best work when, there is that structure, and I never take that for granted. Close the deadline like, oh, what are we going to do now? It's done.
Yeah, Tom's much more than just a cameraman. I mean, he's listening, and I may be on my phone, I may be trying to get something confirmed, and he is seeing a person who we need to talk to. And so he'll go on his own and say, let's go. We're gonna go talk to this person. And that's huge because I've only got 2 eyes, and there's potentially the greatest story that we've ever heard just walking by. And Tom may have heard that, or maybe somebody said something to Tom, so he'll go and grab that person. So it truly is a team effort. You know, in the movies, they make it look like the photographer is just the guy who holds the camera, and the TV guy just puts his makeup on. But there's so much more to it, and having a team that works is huge. And our stories, I think, reflect that on a nightly basis. And that's a huge thing because we are down here all by ourselves. It's very rare that we interact with anybody from Seattle. We just get these assignments and we go. And sometimes we drive to Oregon, sometimes we drive to Mount Rainier or the coast.
Or to Nia Bay for 4.5 hours. Yes. It is like, it's such a unique relationship because it's not like a family member. Yes, we're coworkers, but you are with one coworker day in and day out, you know, doing this bureau job, and you have to get along, you have to trust, you have to respect. Your success is dependent on your partner's success, and you know, continue to learn and get better doing that.
And there are times where we're in situations that are a little dicey. You know, we not too long ago were involved in this riot at the governor's mansion. Tom and I were safe about it, but we were also watching each other. We were live on TV for like an hour and a half in a real intense situation. And I knew he had my back and I had his back. And that's something that when you work with someone for 15 years, 5 days a week, you're gonna do that. And it's almost an instinct that we know what the other is going to do. And that, at the end of the day, I think reflects in our work as well.
I just remember when I wanted to come work at King, I knew there was kind of this legacy of top-notch journalism. You challenge yourself, you know, to, you know, make sure you're meeting those high standards of, you know, being fair and being objective and not taking a side. And we do a good job of listening to each other, bouncing ideas off of each other and making a better story for our viewers. We've talked about it too. You can deliver the news or you can tell a story. At the end of the day, these are news events that are stories. They're about people. Finding that person who can share how it's affecting their life really makes a difference.
People don't always like you telling the truth and getting into the story as deep as we need to get sometimes. We owe it to our viewers that if I put something on TV, it better be the truth.